Hi, readers. Welcome back to Goddess Garden Book Chat. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being a part of our journey in books. This audiobook journey is a blast for me, and I'm so glad I get to share it with you. We're wrapping up Books with Friends, and we were talking about J.J. McAvoy's Ruthless People, which is book one in the Ruthless People series. I want to share a few things before we get into the review. One, 1,000 apologies if my videos have been shaking. I just noticed because my computer's not on stable ground, when I speak animatedly, it shakes the computer. So I'm going to do my best to be as still as possible so that I don't do that until I figure out a better positioning for my device. I also want to share with you that I was supposed to do this on, I guess, the end of June. It was 3 weeks after I'd started the Books with Friends when we went on this journey. But I didn't see a lot of eyes on the video. And I wanted to let more people weigh in so that when I did the review, it would resonate with more readers as opposed to where it was at. And I've achieved that. So that's why this is a little overdue, but I did not forget. Reason one, when I embarked on creating this type of journey for audiobooks, I had this series in mind. I love everything about what J.J. McAvoy put together. I love everything about the way Joel Frumpkin narrated it. But it sort of set the standard when I look at fiction crime families. When you put a saga together and a journey, I think it was done so masterfully well by J.J. McAvoy. It is almost impossible to duplicate it because, I do read a lot of romance novels and I use The Private Garden to express that I'm on that journey because a lot of those books are not for general audiences. But in this particular case, Books with Friends, I wanted my main channel to be able to be a part of this. Um, Chances are, if I do more romance novels, I'm going to have Books with Friends over there as well. But our next journey will not venture into the romance field. But this book is so much more than a romance novel. I thought it was perfect for this. Without going any further off the rails, let's get to the review. Anything else I have to tell you, I can tell you at the end. I want to talk about this amazing journey that not only J.J. McAvoy took me on, but Joel Frumpkin took me as well. That one person's voice could inhabit these characters so beautifully was outstanding. And I'm strictly speaking of book one. He did narrate all of the books. And again, there are 4 books in this entire journey that are written only. They're not audiobooks. But book one, the one that we listen to, introduces you to a dynamic that really sets the stage for how you're going to interact with the women in this journey and the struggle that this family goes through. And I think that this was done beautifully because really and truly, I have measured every fiction crime family against the Callahans. Do they move as a unit? Have they been infiltrated by spies? Are there liars in this clan? Because what you will not do, what you cannot be within these ranks, is moving against the family. You have Melanie Giovanni, coming into this from a background where she did not function with a lot of people around her. She moved as an individual in charge and in control. Her strength as a female heroine is so profoundly painted that even when she encounters real pain and real tragedy, the way she compartmentalizes it is beautiful. Hats off and mad respect to this heroine. I love the way she was written. And then you have Liam Callahan's character. He stepped into a role he wasn't meant to inhabit, but he does it beautifully. And having to lead a family that is so closely knit, so it's almost like being the head of a company. He does so understanding what's at stake at all times, but still trying to be vulnerable enough to build a family within the structure that's his own outside of the family that is the Callahan footprint. This only opens the door. Book one only sheds the light on how these two people come together and deal with the terms of how we're going to shape this so that as we come together and deal with another enemy, we do so solidly and clearly with communication and with focus. And again, the way that this story unfolds, when you end book one, after you go on this journey of them trying to merge these two families, which, side note, it includes their lieutenants, their muscle, their right hands. All of these people have to come together. And the Italians are really struggling with merging with the Irish because the Irish have always moved as misogyny dictates, where they didn't follow nor listen to the women. The women were tasked with just being there to support the journeys and wash a few bloody shirts every now and then and don't ask questions. There was a lot of contention on how they were to respect Melanie or else. And that included Liam, because Liam was under the same misnomer. Remember the first two chapters. He clearly lays out that he thinks that his role in even coming to this is to mold himself a wife. Hopefully, she's going to inhabit these roles that we've outlined for the women folk and be okay with it. But she's agreed, regardless, that this is the rest of her life. So when book one takes you on this journey and they encounter three separate major battles, major, you start to realize, and it does lend itself in the book, you start to realize how much these two people, outside of everything they've created, are exactly alike and how perfect they are for each other, which is where the romance novel component comes in. Because never forget that this is under the header of romance. The reason it's here is because it is way more than that. What I read, what I enjoyed, romance is maybe 1/4 of this novel. So if romance isn't your thing, but you love a good crime, drama, fiction journey about the mayhem that people cause in protection of nefarious things, illegal things at all costs, hands down, you're going to be happy. This is one of the reasons I even launched doing books with friends. I wanted to talk about this journey with someone. This whole journey sits so well in my book library that I measure the journeys of others by it. When you have four books, and this is the mounting story, I have yet to see other series where book two is better than book one. Book three is even better than that. Book four, I'm speechless. And shout out to JJ McAvoy. Instead of doing book five, book six, and book seven, which tends to in your head make you feel like we're dragging this out. You read a lot of series like I do, and they go on and on and on. It's almost like all you did was, as the story went on, substitute heroine tragedy and hero journey with pain and change the names, and all the books are the same. When you get to the second leg, which is Children of Vice, you're on another leg of this journey within the same ecosystem. So I would love for us as a book club to explore this well-written crime family for all the right and all the wrong reasons. I want us to enjoy this. So I'm going to give it to you, my book club, because that's why we're here. It is Books with Friends. If I can get 100 viewers to enjoy the actual two chapter Books with Friends read along that I did and leave a comment that they either want me to move on to the next book or they want to explore further, which is something we can do. We can certainly join up on Discord and do that. I'm here for it. I am well versed on these novels. I am unscripted, as you can tell. I wanted to set the chat squad aside. I didn't want to hand it off, just as I didn't do with Books with Friends. I wanted it to be a club thing. I love my reviews. I love the way that I do my reviews. And shout out to all the tools that I have at my disposal so that I can thoroughly talk about these amazing books that I'm reading. But when it comes to Books with Friends, it's just you and me and these wonderful journeys I'm going to take you on. So I need to hear from you before I embark on another one. It takes a little work, it takes a little planning, and I want us to make sure that I'm doing it for the people who would enjoy it. So let me know. Also, because I'm sort of done with the review portion of this, I want to bring something to your attention that you may have noticed that I'm just now realizing. I record on my computer. My computer is stationed in front of me. And I've noticed of late when I go back and review a lot of the stuff that I have, that there is some shaking going on in my videos. When I'm animated and I talk with my hands and I do anything or I move, my computer's moving. And that's because I have not grounded it and made the surface it sits on more stationary. So I'm working on that. My apologies if you feel like you've been in a milkshake. I just realized it and I'm going to fix it. I'm also going to try to move less if I can't figure out how to control this better. Because if you look on those shelves, that's how many books we have to get to on our book journey together. Got a lot of stuff to cover. My Kindle is at our disposal. I invested so much over years of loving books. I'm glad we can all be here for it. So please subscribe. Please leave a comment and let me know if this journey is where we want to go, because I've got a lot more series left. Series that are sci-fi series. Let's see, what other series do I have? I think they're all romance novels now that I think of it. But as you have seen, my romance novels do not in any way do meet cute. Usually there's some major crime activity involved. And by the way, you sure are fine, baby. That kind of thing. So they can be on this journey or mission and still find time to fall in love with somebody. I tend to move most of these romance conversations depending on the writer's contemporary approach to it. If it's erotica literature romance or if it's just straight romance, a lot of them tend to not be for general audiences. So I will be doing books with friends in the private garden if I find that what I've chosen to talk about goes in that direction. So there are two places that you can enjoy these journeys with me. Hopefully, depending on what we read, you'll take both of these trips with your book club in the private garden or with Goddess Garden Book Chat. I'll see you at the next review. And until then, what are you reading?